Testing. Testing. Okay. Jim, Miprox, I can see your message. Amazing. So I'm testing right now. Taking a minute since the first stream, day one. Testing a bit where how everything is working, and we'll start in a minute. Just having a couple of checks. But yeah, if you can hear me, just please tell me. Vibe is the word. Ça vibe very well. Ça vibe. Yeah. Yeah. Mike's fine. Audio 2, amazing. I can see. I think it's working on YouTube. It's working on Twitch. I don't know about Twitter yet. I assume yes. Yeah. Here we are. Yep. Okay, so very excited to have you guys in there and to start this this kind of journal, right? To be honest, I was inspired by Lou from Proper to do this series. And today, so I'm going to show you a couple of things today. The most important, I think, is to show you how I started my journey as a kind of vibe trader. It hasn't started today. It started a couple of months ago. So it's actually day one of journaling what I've been testing. And so I will show you a couple of things I've built: trading algorithm, day trading with quant, binary option algo as well, trading on Polymarket binaries. I'll show you my approach, how I'm using both technical analysis, but also I'm using AI prediction agents, or what I call binary option agents, how I mix all of them to try to create feature matrix and build machine learning algorithm. All of that basically to try and understand how I can find good niche in the markets where I can build like small trading algo bots that will basically how to say, find market inefficiencies and exploit them, which is basically what trading is. You're trying to outsmart the market in every way you can. So what this is not going to be, it's not going to be a stream or a video series where I'm going to show you a chart and tell you what I think or what I see, or even a macro news. It's not going to be that. Hey, everyone. The reason is the following. I am not a chart wizard. I am not a macro analyst, super smart guy. What I do like to do is to build systems that I understand, because it's stats, it's data, everybody could understand, and make sure that this system works consistently. I'm not chasing for 40x leverage, small term, short, like huge gains with high risk. I'm really simply building a system that anyone can use, either on a day-to-day basis or build a system, plug in and forget, and see how it goes over time. So yeah, more concretely, today I'm going to show you Polymarket bot that's been working for some time. 3 Hyperliquid trading bots, my day trading using Quant, and then I'll show you a bit how I'm using the Quant as well. More context for those who do not know, I am Jeremy. I'm the founder of Quant, myquant.gg. And what is Quant? Essentially a smart engine, smart signal engine that gives you a good trading signal, good trading setup that you can execute in one click from anywhere you are on the internet, from your browser. B, it gives you direction. So my whole point is to not just give you trade setups and you click and you execute. Everybody can do that. Or it's not to build a kind of AI black box where you just believe what the AI does, you give your money and what it does. No, my point is that, and that's my thesis with Quant, is that everybody wants to have their own unique trading algorithm or whatever. And that AI enable anyone to build good ones, consistent ones. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So let's start. I think now it's time. It's been 2 minutes. I think everything's working. So yeah, I'll start by showing you, just stuff that I've been working on. I think are interesting, not necessarily quant related right now. I'm going to try to share my screen. And you can tell me whenever you have a question or if something is more interesting or not. Okay. Okay. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a small Polymarket bot. It's among the things that I've been working around. This one is pretty cool. So it's been running since February 3rd, right? So it's been like February, March, April. So around a bit more than 3 months. And it did like 1,400 profit. Actually, maybe a bit less. I started with around $1,000 there, a bit less, and it's kind of growing consistently. And what I'm playing here is it's the binary markets on Polymarket, only the 1 hour binary markets. I'm not trying to kind of make a market making bot. I'm not trying to be faster in execution than everybody else, and I'm not trying to copy others. What I built is essentially I've used a lot of technical indicators. So essentially, indicators are different kind of mathematical logics that look at OHLCV data, so open, high, low, close, and volume. So OHLCV data is what constitutes a candle. So when you look at the trading charts, you see a candle. That's a candle from OHLCV, right? It has an open, a high, a low, a close, and then there's a volume associated. So essentially, when you use all of these OHLCV data, you can use different kind of mathematics formulas, etc. That's been used over time, and then you have what we call technical indicators, and these technical indicators, like moving averages, stochastic RSI, and so on and so forth, are allowing you to basically make some assumptions on where's the price is going to go, because you are able to test these setups in the past on the backtesting data, right? So the backtesting data tells you that, when there is a crossover of these two indicators, well, in 70% of the case, the price will reach this level before it reaches this level. It will reach this take profit before it reaches a stop loss. Anyway, so I will not go deep into all of this. I think it's not the most interesting, but I'm just going to show you. So yeah, this Polymarket bot, this is one of them. I have another one where actually I lost like maybe $700. So overall, I'm in profit, but it's interesting because it's 2 different approaches I've been trying, and I'm just going to try to, in a very succinct, like short way, tell you what I learned and what's interesting. So this bot that I've built is only based on a set of technical indicators. It's not based on any AI. There's zero AI in this one. So I'm just looking at different indicators. I've put all of them into a feature matrix, which is what you need when you're building a machine learning algorithm. And then I basically use a machine learning algorithm. So there's different libraries. And what it's going to do is it's going to try to find all the correlations possible to optimize for the outcome you want. So the outcome I wanted was, how many cases am I able to predict if this 1 hour candle will close up or down compared to its entry price, right? In how many cases am I able to say in 1 hour is going to be up or down, which is exactly what these binary markets are doing in Polymarket, trying to bet on up or down. And so I have built a system. Initially, it was maybe like, I don't know, on back testing, it was telling me that I had like 60% or 65% win rate, and so on and so forth. The reality is much more different because there's a lot of things that happen when you have a system that you backtest and then you confront it to reality. In this specific case, in the Polymarket bot, one of the most important thing is execution. So when in the game I'm playing, there are a lot of people that playing different games on Polymarket, different type of bots, different type of algorithm. In the market I'm playing, I'm looking for something I can predict at the beginning of the hour. So basically, at the moment the market opens, like 2 seconds, I have all the data I need to compute and calculate. So my algorithm is complete. It has the latest candle, and it can tell, okay, did these indicators like cross as they're supposed to tell you, okay, there is a signal that the market will go up or will go down. So I need to compute all of that super quickly, and then I need to buy the market on my direction. So it can be up or down. The thing is that I'm not the only one playing that. So everybody's also playing that and probably shoot the same signals. And so then I try to buy at the best price possible. So what I've been trying in many cases is trying to time the market to basically get the best entry possible. It was not working so well. You try also to make limit orders, because in Polymarket you can make like market orders or limit orders, essentially like any trading platform. When you make a market, then you pay a fee on top of the price you pay, so that reduces your edge. And essentially, this game is like, if you are able to have an edge, so on average, I'm going to be right like 60% of the time, and I have an edge of like plus like 10% per trade on a very long, like very big amount of trades. I'm going to be plus 10% on average. Well, now if you buy the price, you can only buy at average like 60 cents, then you're break even, because everybody has the same signal, everybody trying to buy, so it pushes the price up. So you buy at 60 cents, your win rate is 60%, and then if you add the fees on top of that, then you pay 62% or 60%. So actually you're net negative. So that's one of the things that's very hard, is first to find an edge, second to be able to execute it at the right price, and third, like, so the edge is not eaten up by fees. So long story short, I had to work on that every single day to refine it, to make it work. And there's also another thing, which is you need to understand the sizing. So if you play with $1,000, you're not going to put $1,000 per trade, because, well, if you have a 70% win rate, you can lose like multiple times in a row, and then you can lose it all. And the point is that you should not go bust. So for instance, this bot was like at $3,000 probably like 2 weeks ago. Now it went down, and then it's like, if it continues to perform as a backtest, it will go up over time. So yeah, this one is a very interesting one. It's been working consistently. Another one I tried, basically, I tried mixing technical analysis with AI, and it didn't work as well. Not because the edge was not here, but because I was not able to execute the edge at the right price. And so it meant that that my edge per trade was either break even or negative, and then I went into a statistical lose streak. and then you lose a lot of your portfolio, and that doesn't work. So one thing I'm exploring is not just Polymarket bot with technical analysis. One thing I'm exploring is how we can use other methods like AI or prediction agents in order to create new bots. And that's going to be even more the case with HIP4, which is the new markets on Hyperliquid. And these new markets are all about binary options, right? And so I don't know if you guys know, so this is the site of Quant, myquant.gg, where we have an arena in which we have binary options agents. So we have like 107 binary options agents that are predicting market at 24 hours. So basically once a day at 3 p.m. UTC, we ask all of these agents that have different configuration, different data points, do you think Bitcoin price will be up or down 24 hours from now? And they predict. And so we have the best one, they're at 60% accuracy over 140 prediction, the worst one at 40% at 109 prediction. So these are not statistically significant for now because we simply don't have enough prediction yet. But we also have 1 hour binary option agents. And these ones have a lot more predictions. They have like close to 3,000. And now you look at the accuracy, obviously it's much closer to 50% because you'd expect a coin flip, right? So some still have an edge, at least on the period we tested, so the last 100 or so days. And some have very bad accuracy, so 46%. 46% is actually incredible. What does it tell us? It tells us that if you counter trade that, you are able to predict the price of Bitcoin, if it will be up or down in the next hour, 54% of the time. And that is in itself quite an incredible discovery. So I'm reading the question right now. Can I share mouse instruction from my own quant? So now, like all of these agents are kind of blurred. So we're hiding them because they're built by the community, and we feel like either by the community or by us, like the team. And it's your own choice if you want to make the data about your binary option agents public or not. But here I'm going to reveal a couple secrets. First, so if you try to just counter trade this one, for instance, which I tried, the edge is too thin, right? So 54% of the time is great, but then on Polymarket with the fees and the price you're trying to get, plus the time that the prediction is generated, so the prediction can take like 30 seconds, sometimes 1 minute, sometimes 2 minutes. So you're never gonna get the best price, and then at the end of the day, it's close to a coin flip, and so it's not really good. But the real secret is the following. The real secret is that you can build prediction models based on this agent, but select specific ones. So what I mean by that, there is some correlations between some very bad agents and some really good agents that when you look at their prediction, all of them for certain hours, if they all go in the same direction or a different direction, you're able to tell, okay, right now in this setup, when like the 4 worst agents are long and the 4 best agents are short, well, statistically, in 65% of the case, that's just an example, the market will go down. So what I'm trying to build right now, and right now I'm only building it's not public yet, I will make it available for everyone. But essentially it's telling you that when this is a signal, right? So in this setup, the market, we're able to predict like 65% of the time if Bitcoin will go up or down in the next hour. Obviously, it's not every hour, right? It's only when all of these criteria are aligned. And that is just a first discovery. Everything I say should be first taken with a grain of salt, and also it's not financial or advice, obviously. And the prediction data, even though we have a lot of prediction, we are currently in what we call a market regime. So it's an overall market acts in a certain way. And so obviously we don't have enough data. So everything I say is not statistically significant in the long run. We need much, much more data, much like different market regimes. But still, right now we are in this market regime where in the last 100+ days, in 54% of the time, for every single hour, which is quite incredible, we're able to say, okay, we know which direction Bitcoin will go next. And so when we build this ensemble, when we build this matrix, right, we're able to take that number up. And then there's other things you can do. You can also filter by hours. So there are some hours, and that's actually how my other bot is working on Polymarket, the one that performs really well. On certain hours, the market, we are able to predict, like, it's not just 60%, maybe it's 70%. So these specific hours, they act differently. These specific hours, we're able to tell how the market, or what Bitcoins will go up or down much, much more significantly. And that is another filter. And there are other filters like that. So hours is one of them. Series. So if an agent is right 8 times in a row, then the likeliness of it being right another time is also more significant. So that's how I build this algorithm. That's how I build this model, where essentially I'm taking all of this data, I'm crunching all of it. I'm trying to build as many things I can and filters in order to get something that is working, and that is very important, statistically significant. That is not what we call overfitting. So overfitting is that you have a data set and you just crunch it so much to build your model that it works in this sample, but out of sample. So out of this very data set, if you take it somewhere else, it will not perform at all. That is really hard, right? And that's what you're trying to work for. And so this, but this is a fantastic first step, because more and more we're going to be able to give you a prediction that is going to help you. That's going to be significant on the direction of the asset, on the hour, and on the day. And I'm going to give you another secret that I just uncovered recently, which is these agents. So every hour they have to tell, right, is the Bitcoin price going to go up or down in the next hour? But if you look at their prediction, and then instead of checking the price in 1 hour, but you check in 24 hours, what they're not optimized for, you actually have much better results. And then the edge goes to 72%. So actually, when you combine all of these elements, when you combine all the filters, when you take the 1 hour agent and you look at 24 hours, the results, then the results are even more extraordinary. Again, I'll try to make all of that public and share as much, but I'm working on it a lot right now. And there's still a lot to uncover and verify. But why is this important? Because so far I've told you about, the 1 hour prediction agents, and you can place them on Polymarket or binary market, but you cannot trade them. The reason is the following: if I, for instance, if I use this CME Explorer and I counter it every hour, because I know that in 54% of the time the price will go in the other direction, I could put a trade every hour on Hyperliquid, and if the price goes in the direction, well, the price is going in that direction, so I should be winning, right? Not at all, because there's a difference between the direction and the magnitude of the move, right? So maybe it will go up, but just like 0.1%. And then if you close at 0.1% or so, then maybe the fees that you pay when you make a trade are going to be higher than what you would earn. And maybe you're able to predict a lot of small moves, but you're very wrong on big moves. And so maybe you're very good at predicting all the moves that are plus 0.1%, but you're very bad when there is a candle minus 3%. And so when you have that, then you lose like 30 times in one trade what you earned in the other trade. And so for this reason, it doesn't work. But if you, with a model where you use this 1 hour prediction and you use it to predict the price in 24 hours, then their magnitude is much higher. So first you get rid of the fees issue. The magnitude is higher, so then you're going to be profitable beyond the fees. And then the work is to create a setup, again, best agents, worst agents, voting, best hours, etc. So you eliminate the worst trades, because worst trades, they can come from a different set of events. And then you can even use all of this data and then use technical indicators. And some technical indicators are very good at identifying when there's going to be a very bad trade or a big magnitude. And then you cut all of them. And then you end up with a system that is, pretty reliable, pretty interesting over time. And that's kind of what I'm trying to build right now for everybody to use. And the way it's going to be is at every single point in time, you'll be able here on this page or in Quant, I'm going to show you later, you'll be able to see if our model flags a setup of agents that tells you, okay, right now there's 60% chance that Bitcoin goes up in 1 hour, and there's 70% that it goes up until tomorrow. And that will be another data point to help you make a decision, to help you make a trade with Quant. So that's kind of what I'm working on in terms of the AI and how I'm using AI. So I'm not using AI by telling Claude or whatever, hey, look at the chart right now. What should I do? It's not at all what I'm doing. What I'm doing is that I'm building like hundreds, and with the community, with you guys, we're building hundreds of prediction agents that have very specific roles. And then all together, they are creating a new indicator. And that's what we're doing. And I'm really excited about it, actually. Yeah. So what's next? We have, so I'm going to show you some Hyperliquid stuff as well. Okay. So I have a couple bots in Polymarket right now I'm running. I've been trying a lot of them as well. Overall, by the way, on the journey I started maybe like 3 months plus ago, and building all this. I had a portfolio of maybe like $9,000 or something like that. Now it's about like 11 or 12. So overall, it's growing and it's going pretty well. But I'm also losing because I'm making a lot of tests. One thing that is interesting, for instance, is this one. So this one is a bot on Hyperliquid that is I built as well with like kind of a machine learning algorithm. This is also not including AI or AI agents. It's like the Polymarket bot that is working well. This one only has technical indicators. So I crunched a lot of trading strategy all together, and I optimized for the best profit, right? It's the best win rate with risk reward and like some kind of not terrible drawdown and stuff like that. So I worked a lot on that, and I ended up with this model that's been running. So actually, it was running a bit later. So it's a bit more of profit because before I tried another one that didn't work. So yeah, it's around there. It started, and so we did almost 2x in 3 months, right? And so the way it works is I'm going to show you the trade history here. Is a portfolio with a trade, so I can show you. So here, see, I was trying a low, like a high frequency trading algo. It didn't work for a couple of reasons. Then I understand that's not the game I'm playing. That's not the game you guys or we should play. We're always going to be outsmart or outcompeted by people on the low, on the high frequency trading or like market making style. We are more like trading for like swing or multiple days, 1 to 2 weeks trades. And so I think the first trade it did was around March 3rd, and we can see the list here. When was it? Yeah, this was the first trade, 4th of March. This one, so it's been 100% accuracy so far, but like through my backtest, it's supposed to be like 70-75% on a very large data set. So it's one I kind of truly believe in, although obviously it's going to have some drawdown, it's going to have some loss. It's an interesting one. It caught the right. It first bought at 71. No, sorry. Yeah. Where is the first one? Yeah, probably here. But the first one at 66, closed at 71. Then it wait for it to go down, but at 67, sold at 72. It went down again, bought at 68, sold 73, went down, bought at 72. So this one is doing pretty well. Again, the real life trading environment for this one is too small, but it's performing really well, and it has a solid backtest. If you're interested, I can do two things. One is I can share the wallet. The other one is that I can add this like signal of this specific bot, which you cannot access on Quant right now, but I will make it. I will add it and make it public, so you can also get the signal from this one. And so again, this is required a lot of testing and a lot of back testing and trying. But now I have a system that is interesting. I'm not greedy on leverage, so every position has a 2x leverage. And yeah, I'm not touching it. Right, it's automated, so it makes a trade and then it either reach stop loss or take profit. But nothing else gonna happen, right? So it's also like kind of a plug and forget, which I think in a diversified trading portfolio you should have in our days and age. Automated like automated systems, so bots that are trading on their own, and also like active trading. So this one is very interesting. What else can I show you? I'm going to show you other wallets. If you have any question, by the way, feel free to ask. So let's look at this one. This one is interesting. So this one is one I've started really, really recently. And so it's a bot that has two sub-accounts. One that is only for longs and one that is only for shorts. So this one is about shorts. And it started really recently, like a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And so this one, what it does is exactly what I told you before on the agents from the arena. So it takes the combination of best and worst agents, what direction they do, specific hours, etc. And then when the signal from all of these agents comes out, it tells us, okay, there is 70% or 65% chance that in 24 hours, the price is going to be higher than now. And so what I do is that each time I bet between like $100 and $200 with a 5x leverage in the direction, if the model tells the direction, and then I wait 24 hours and I close it exactly 24 hours later. And so that's exactly the model I'm following. So it's like there is much more trades. There is much higher frequency, but it's also interesting. We're going to see if again the data we have is not statistical, so it's very risky. But it's just to test and see if there is something there. So far it's so this one is so it started April 20. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, like 3 weeks, and it has a P&L of $40. So it's really, really, really early. And then when you look at the long, so sometimes it flags long, sometimes it flags short, and you look at the longs, it's a bit down. So it's very early, but it's just to tell you that I'm testing this approach as well, and I'll share the results. They're also interesting. And I have another approach as well, which is basically the mixing of this approach and the first approach. So I told you about the best bot is the one that is only based on technical indicators, the one that did 2x. This one is only based on the prediction agents from the arena. And now I built this one, which is on the mixing both of them. So I've like, don't pay attention, there's too many trades, but because I've tried a lot of different things and it's very early, but let's say I put $100 and now in like a week or two we are up 12%. It's too small, and it's too early, but it's also something I'm testing to see, because theoretically on the back test and on everything I've tested, when I mix the two approach, the results should be even better, because we cut the worst trades, we get the better one, etc., etc. So I'll also let you know how this one goes. It's interesting. So these are kind of all the bots I'm building, I'm working on as a vibe trader, and also why I'm building Quant. So if we go back to Quant, the site, the platform, you have, as probably all of you in this stream know, we have the arena, and then we have a trading engine, right? Which is a new kind of terminal where you can see signals based on technical analysis that pops every minutes or so. Then you have signals on one asset. For instance, we have Bitcoin or Ethereum, and you can see a bunch of signals when they were populated. So, for instance, here 1 hour ago, and the name of the strategy that populated the signal, and the data based on the backtest of this strategy. And so that's how I'm doing my kind of day trading, if we put it that way. And so I'm using these to be active as a trader. And the way it works for me, it's pretty simple. I'm looking at the ratio of Bitcoin signals, like long versus short. I usually have a look at the arena. I'm checking if all the binary option agents are telling, we're going long or short in 24 hours. And, I'm entering trades. And so far I had, so P&L about $600 in about 5 weeks on a portfolio that, I was trading with like $3,000 or something. So it's like a 20% profit, which is very, very impressive as well. And so my strategy here is quite simple. I am making regularly a lot of small trades. It's almost like I'm DCAing into good trade setups. So I know all of these setups, trade signals are good to some extent. Again, not financial advice, because for instance, this one, it has a 1.7 EV per trade percent. So it means that on average, if I take a lot of trades, every single one will generate 1.7% of returns. This one was tested for the last for 4 years, Jan 22 to Jan 26, at 60% win rate over 2,400 trades, and the average hold time is 2 weeks. So I'm kind of DCAing into like a lot of like good signals, and then if they go down, I'm not worried at all, because I know it's a good setup, so it can go up again. Or if it go down, it will just reach a stop loss, and that's fine. But then when they're up, and when they're up quite a bit, usually, I'm happy to close them manually. I actually close all of them manually most of the time, to secure a lot of gains over time. And that's how you kind of have a 70% win rate over 40 trades. And yeah, that's how I like slowly grind into making gains. And that helps me a lot, because again, I'm not a chart wizard. I just don't like to look at charts all the time. I don't like to have too many information. I just come here or into the extension, because what you see here on every page is our extension. So you can open trades and manage them from any website. Super easy. And so yeah, I mean, it's very convenient, and it also allowed me to outperform. I'm going to show you something fun, which is my wallet on Hyperliquid. So this wallet where I've been trading with Quant. And what's fun is so this wallet, it was a very, very small wallet. I was just like, testing perps for fun. I was testing it because I just wanted to test Hyperliquid. I've never traded before. I was not good at it, and so I was just like trading on feeling. Now, can you guess when I started to? This is like all-time channel. Can you guess when I started to use quant on this wallet? So I started there. Again, it was very small, so very insignificant, doesn't matter. But yeah, it was basically here. So here I started using quant, and now a lot of my P&L is like a bit more sexy. Very tiny, obviously, like it's like 400, like, so it's $600. This is all time, counted for my loss before. But yeah, so that's something very, very interesting, and tells me that what, as a, when you basically the difference when you build like trading models, trading algorithms, what matters is that you're, oh, actually I was not sharing the good page. Here was a page I wanted to share, which is like my P&L on the portfolio, and that's basically where here I started to use quant to trade. So you can tell the difference. And so yeah, in overall, when you trade, like when you build like trading algorithm, the most important is to backtest, refine, test in real conditions again and again and again, and test a lot of different strategies. When you do day trading, the most important is to have a plan. If you're trying to be emotional, it's never going to work. If you're not an expert, me personally, if you put me in front of a chart, I open a position, then I have to wait and see how the chart does. I'm going to be very, very bad. But if every time I'm opening a trade that has a stop loss take profit, there's a plan in this trade, and then I just wait. If it's down, I'm completely fine, because I know that in the long term, my trades are EV plus, so they should be winning. And if they're winning, then I'm just closing for profit from time to time. So yeah, that's kind of wraps up like the day one, and how I'm trading overall. Right now, I'm gonna also deploy capital into trading agents, but directly on quant. So we're releasing this trading agent that you can build yourself. We have another section in the arena for trading agents versus binary option agents, and you can see all the trading agents built by the community for the last 3 months. We had very impressive ones. So they all start with $10,000 as paper trading, and then they trade, and you can see the results. So there is one that did a 10K to 100K challenge in like a month or two, which is incredible. I think this one is like very, very high leverage, so it's quite risky. I wouldn't do it as is, but it's a very interesting one. And what we see is that all the trading agents we have on the platform, that you can build them and create them in like really like 1 minute. It's super easy. Maybe I'll dive more into that into another video, because it's quite a lot already for today. But yeah, if you do that, you can build your own and then check their stats. And as you can see, surprisingly, a vast majority of them are in profit, which is quite incredible. For instance, I will show you my agents. That's how it works. If I'm going to take, for instance, one that has quite some trades, let's take this one. So yeah, this one is an agent I created. I'm probably going to replicate it with. Right now, I'm releasing like real trading on these agents. I'm already testing it and make it available to the community this week. But yeah, this one is interesting. 52 trades, 65% win rate. Very important to simulate the fees here. So that's actually what would happen in real condition with the fees. So it's less, obviously, but still very interesting. And yeah, that's something that's coming. So yeah, I mean, all in all, that's a wrap of day one as a vibe trader, where I'm building all of these systems in the way I want to trade, which is not in an emotional gambling way, but in a structured, simple way, where on one side I have my systems that are going on all the time, and on the other side I have day trading with good setups that feed my desire to be active when I'm scrolling Twitter or CoinMarketCap. And I just want to make it available for everybody, because as you see, these systems are not like, okay, there is one AI system where everybody plugs in and everybody trades the same. It's not like that at all. Everybody will have their own systems, but that are smart and optimized with our tech. So yeah, I'm not talking too much about quant and the site and the roadmap, because I wanted to make a series more on my journey, as everything I'm trying, not just on quant, just on my stuff, with the Polymarket stuff, etc. And share that with you. And if you find it interesting, tell me. I can share more or answer more questions. But yeah, I think it wraps it up for today. I will also share the exact number of my overall portfolio across all of the system, and on every stream I'll try to make between 1 and 3 streams per week, and try to make them better based on the feedback. I will also update you on the overall portfolio size and each system, how it's performed, and how it's going. All right. If you guys are still here, you are heroes. You reached the end. If you have a question, now is the time. Otherwise, I'll wrap it up for day 1 of this journey of a vibe trader. All right, guys. Let's have a new one this week. I think tomorrow we're gonna have some stuff, and Wednesday as well. So I'll see you there. Cheers.